leave it on. Yes, please.
Okay, great. Dr. Khan, go ahead with your question.
Oh,
We can't hear
you're
you.
on mute. Yeah.
Can't hear you yet.
Fine, now you can listen to me.
Yeah.
It's more like questions and my concern. First, I would like to say, whenever you are planning these things, for example, these, these trainings, please consider the gender difference over here, because we all know that girls are different on disabilities, specifically autism. Maybe you all might know that, don't know that I have this, I'm high function. People don't even get this idea, but you're always vulnerable about a lot of things. So please consider the factor that we have to create a different resource for girls. We have to keep this in our mind. Second thing is that I want to include sexual education over here. Please, please, please. Sexual education means include puberty. Plus, we have, because this population is so vulnerable toward abuse, and I'm dealing nowadays these cases, and it hurts me a lot. I mean, you cannot talk this to the parent directly, and it hurt you a lot. So we have to do something about that. We have to create for girls, for boys, both different resources for that thing. And other thing I would like to say that, as you all know, that we both belongs to different cultures. You're from different culture, I'm from different culture. So the thing is that it's not even about the culture, it's about the area and the resources we have. So when we are planning these things, we have to take this consideration that we have to do something indigenous over there. For example, like in start I told you that we cannot, a lot of things I cannot imply over here, because we don't have these resources, we don't have these reach out. But I have this thing keep bugging me, because you already know me, cricket, that I got this mind who is all the time thinking. Because when you got a big brain and you put everything over there and you're thinking about the profession and you're so passionate about that, so I keep on thinking about that thing, what we are going to do. So that I came up about different idea. So these are my three concerns: sexual education, gender difference, and regional resources. We have to think about that. So I think you would include that, or you would like to comment on that. So that was all from my side. So
I love
thank you
that.
so
And
much.
I think I have a really good resource for that. Her name is Dr. Khan, and she will be helping me with all of these things that you're suggesting.
I can do that. You know that. I can do that.
And I want to add to that too, because I love that you're mentioning that, Dr. Khan, because Cricket and I have actually been asked by Special Olympics of Arizona to help
Okay.
them with piloting a program when it comes to healthy relationships.
Yes,
So,
that's
and another thing that we do as the Director of Community Corporate Outreach, one of the things that I do is when I do vet a resource, I ask them what other areas, what other states, where are they located at? And I let them know that we're international. So I am definitely making sure to keep that in mind when I
yeah.
talk to these different service providers.
Yes.
And
We are
and
keeping
and
you in mind.
Rebecca, I was going to say, and Rebecca, who's on here, she's Article 9, and she works with an adult that has autism. That's a girl, Sam. And I know Rebecca can help us with those suggestions as well, and maybe even Sam can participate as well. So I think we have a lot of resources to create this. But I agree with you.
Let me tell you one thing,
Yeah.
because they are not able to tell you, but they are very, because how I, maybe I'm sorry if I'm taking your time, but I would like to share the case over here. I was working with a girl, she was so cute. The point was that I think I just mentioned this case earlier, but I would like to mention over here because we are talking about this thing. And she just went off because of some reason. Her grandmother was ill. Her mother left her when she was a child. So I saw difference in her behavior. She was doing something strange. I mean, like I told you already, that I don't allow any therapist in my place to, hug a child for long. First thing is that. Second thing is that I don't allow therapists to take the child in their lap. It's not allowed. I don't allow them. And I fight for them, and I fight hard for the institution before I was working, that please, please, please look into this consideration. Don't allow anyone to take this child, and don't allow children to kiss all the time, because we have some allergy. Because I have this background, I'm from psychology, I'm a therapist, then I became a speech therapist. So I have a lot of things in my mind. Because don't think about that they are not individual. Beside autism they have personality. Beside autism they have development. So we have to consider these things. So we have some erogenous zone which can create different kind of feelings in the person. So I start feeling different about that girl. She would try to come to me, she would like want to sit in my lap, and she would want to jump in my lap, and she would want to rub my thighs. I mean, she was just just something like rubbing thing. And I and the family was not even able to understand. She was said that like she's just doing strange things. She's just taking off her shirt while she's doing that and stuff like that. And they just told us later on. Later on, when I make a lot of noise over there where I was working, at that time I was assistant over there. Not even assistant, I was a trainee over there. I said something is wrong, we have to work on that. And they were not listening to me. I said, no, something is wrong, we have to work on that. I see a difference in that girl. I am very much suspectable about the girl I am working. I am too much involved in these children, and I know when something is wrong. So they, after some time, I did testing on her. She was, and on HFD, if somebody has psychology background, the sign and symptoms start coming. So I said that something is very wrong over here. And one day I did not let touch her, and she had meltdown. I did not let her come to me, and she had meltdown, and that was crazy meltdown. And she started crying for so hard that the neighborhood heard her cry. That was that loud. Then I talked to my seniors that we have to do something. Then we just find some way to do think about that. And they said that her father hit her so many times because she take off her shirt, and she start on pointy things. She start rubbing her body over there. So I know that it feel or we cannot listen to these things, but that was happening with that girl. So it's also happened with the boy also. So the point over here is that they cannot tell you. That is the point. It's not even about legal thing. How are you going to know that a child is going to under something?
Well, in Landon, when he was going through that, Dr. Khan, he would call me at gym class because he was hiding in the bathroom, because he's like, if I go to gym class and the girls are around me, I'm going to make a bad decision. I'm going to end up in jail. So when those things are happening, we need to discuss that way before 15 and 16 years old. We need to start teaching them their boundaries, what they can touch, what they can't touch, what's good touch, what's bad touch, all of those things. So I think this is a very good, subject matter. And I think that we have, like I said, we have a lot of people that can help us work on this, because we just had an adult, 27 years old. He took a picture of his privates and sent it to one of his old teachers in high school. She called the police. She was like, I'm not going to allow that. And the mom was beside herself. She's like, I would have never thought he would have done that. And so those are things that are happening, and sex trafficking, luring, all those things. So that's why we're bringing these bigger, larger presenters in that have the experience, that are willing to share this information to help support our families as we move forward. So thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Thank you for listening.
Are you doing podcasts of like redirecting behavior and stuff like that into positive? Yeah, we worked on a lot of that with the horse therapy, because we did have that. And it is, you're right, Dr. Khan, very different from boys and girls in how it manifests itself. But yeah, having those resources for how to redirect some of that behavior, I think for parents is extremely beneficial.
And we're working. Go ahead, Bernadette.
I was just going to say real quick, it's not just redirecting, Dr. Khan. It's brilliant that you recognized and identified that there was something, because not everybody can identify that. And it's being able to notice those differences. So that's wonderful.
And I don't think we're going to be able to fix everything, especially if we don't have our ACRE community and awareness. But when our officers, for example, went into the classroom last year, the nonverbal kids were punching the officers to get their attention. Now, if these kids were older, that would have been assault, right? And so we're teaching them, these officers, like,